Hi everybody, Dr. Olivia Joseph here. I hope you are all well and healthy, which may not seem easy in this day and age. I know a lot of the media has us absolutely terrified about this flu epidemic, so I would like to offer you a little bit of advice on how to prevent the flu naturally, as well as if you do come down with the flu, some things that can help support immune health and support your immune system. So one thing I want you to know is, as scary as it seems, this is one of our best flu seasons in the last 4 years. In 2014 and 15 flu season is when we saw the highest death rate as a result of the flu. Not now, not this year, even though that sounds like what we're hearing, but you guys can educate yourself and go on the CDC, the World Health Organization's website, the National Institute of Health, and you can do your own research and see your own statistics. What I find happening is when people get the flu vaccine, it gives them a false sense of protection. And what we need to understand is that the flu vaccine is developed a year ahead of the actual flu season. So we're taking a guess and we're predicting. And there are amazing scientists and researchers making these guesses, but really it's just a guess. So this year's flu vaccine protects you against flu B, but what our epidemic is flu A. So I find this not just with the flu, but also with cardiovascular disease and among many things. So for example, many people in our country take blood pressure and cholesterol lowering medicine. Many diabetics take medication to lower their blood sugar. And it gives you a false sense of confidence that you're not at high risk for these diseases. Well, my blood pressure is normal, my cholesterol is normal, I'm not at risk for heart disease, but yet half the people who have a heart attack and stroke have normal blood pressure and normal cholesterol. So we have to be conscious of predisposing factors. The largest predisposing factor to heart disease is diabetes. So I know we're not here to talk about diabetes, but what I want you to understand is that our rate of cardiovascular disease is going up and not down. And yet we have more medications and procedures for cardiovascular disease than ever. The United States consumes 75% of the world's medication, but we are only 5% of the world's population. So if you understand this statistic, what you'll see is if taking medicine were making us healthier, we would be the healthiest country in the world, and we're not. We rank 37 or 38 in terms of health in the entire world. So we've got great emergency medicine and we have a great sick care system. What we have is a broken healthcare system, and the flu is no different. We get this false sense of security from the flu vaccine, but yet a lot of people who get the flu and have flu-related deaths did receive the vaccine. And there are certain populations, really, really young babies, that don't have that built-up immune health that can't get the flu vaccine, and we're seeing a high mortality rate in that demographic too. So what I'm saying is that being vaccinated doesn't necessarily prevent the flu. The CDC says your risk for developing the flu is reduced by 40 to 60% when you have a flu vaccine. So what that means is there's a 60% chance, even if you have the flu vaccine, you're still going to get the flu. So what can we do to support our immune system healthy and naturally? You've got to get in there early. Prevention starts early. Prevention does not start in December or January or February. Prevention starts in October, even September, but definitely around October is when you want to start working on prevention. So what can you do to prevent? I want you guys to look at the clinical trials and research done on this product, Flora Immune Booster. It is a probiotic specifically designed for boosting immune health, and they did test in clinical trials how this prevents the flu. The secret to this is you have to take it for 12 weeks. So you really can't start it now. You really needed to start it back in October, November, because December, January, February is our flu season. Really January, February, sometimes it slides into March. So you have to be proactive with specific probiotics targeted towards immune health. The other thing I want to mention is vitamin D. Vitamin D3 specifically. What happens is in the summer, we're making vitamin D, and vitamin D protects our immune system. And probiotics protect what? Our gut. 70% of our immune system is in our gut. So when you have inflammation in the gut, it's very hard to build up the good bacteria, and you need those immune cells in your gut healthy because they're what are going to help you fight infection and viruses. So vitamin D, it's very important that you start this in most regions of the United States, especially in the Midwest. It's very important that you start this October at the latest on a daily basis. At 5,000 units is what I do with my patients for adults, and there's different dosage for children, but I do give my children vitamin D3 liquid drops. So I give my children probiotics as well. One thing, or what to do if you do actually come down with the flu, is you want to load yourself with immune boosting nutrition such as vitamin C, zinc. I use this formula called ImmuCore, and I suggest one every 4 to 5 hours because vitamin C is going to help you fight infection, but vitamin C is water soluble, so it only stays in your system for about 4 to 5 hours. So it's important that you take it frequently enough. So about 3 to 4 times a day if you have symptoms. Once your symptoms are gone, back it down to once a day. And if you're taking vitamin C or ImmuCore for prevention, you can take it just once a day. Ideally during the day, not at night, because you want to take it before you're going to have possible exposure. And I want to talk exposure for a minute. My office employs about 12 people, and out of the 12 of us, we've had about 4 or 5 people go down with the flu. So what that means is we've all been exposed, but all 12 of us didn't get it, right? 7 of us managed to stay healthy. So what's the difference? The difference is if we all get exposed to the flu, it doesn't mean we're all gonna get it, because it's how efficient our immune system is in dealing with fighting infection and things of that nature, and stress has a lot to do with that. It really does. Nutritional stress, nutritional deficiency, inflammation, toxicity, these are different stressors on our body, not just emotional stress. Vitamin D deficiency is a stress on your body. The other thing I want to mention is Tamiflu. I know many patients who have been prescribed Tamiflu preventively. Do your homework, do your research. That's not what Tamiflu does. And Tamiflu was not tested or proven to prevent the flu. What it has shown is to reduce the duration by an average of, I think, 2 days. So you can't take it to prevent the flu, right? If you do have the flu and you take it within the first 24 hours, it can shorten the duration by 2 days. Now, there's a lot of side effects that come with that. And many of you have had side effects to Tamiflu, and feel free to comment on that or just to do your own research. What I'm saying is things like the flu shot and Tamiflu, they don't protect us, especially not at 100%, when we're looking at a flu vaccine being 40 to 60% effective, according to the CDC. And Tamiflu does not prevent. It does not. It has to be taken early. You have to have the flu, and all it will do is shorten the duration and maybe the severity. So some other things I use, not for prevention, but in acute situations, is colloidal silver. I will use colloidal silver about 3 to 4 times a day if there's an infection, because colloidal silver and ImmuCore are going to help support your immune system health to fight a virus. And last but not least, I use this Candibactrin AR and also something called Sinuplex or Nasanol by Metagenics. Those are Metagenics products. I use if there's respiratory and congestion, respiratory issues, because the concern with respiratory issues is if they graduate to bronchitis or if they graduate to pneumonia, that's really the complication from the flu, is bronchitis or pneumonia, pneumonia more specifically. So Candibactrin AR is really good at helping your body naturally fight off viral and fungal infections, because our sinuses and our lungs are a breeding grounds for fungus because they're dark, moist areas. And when you have a cold or a flu and you're not draining properly, that's a breeding grounds for secondary infections such as bacterial or fungal infections. So I just want to tell you, please do not be afraid. Do your homework, do your stats. I've had the flu. My whole family had the flu about 5 years ago. I wouldn't wish it upon anybody, but as much exposure as I have on a daily basis working with patients, and my kids have on a daily basis being in school, out of the last 10 years, We've experienced the flu one time, and it was during this really bad flu epidemic that was in 2014 and 15, I believe. So I know the media makes everything super scary, but please do your own homework and please do your own research, and we will never, ever outsmart Mother Nature. She is too smart. When we use antibiotics for things that are not bacterial, we develop antibiotic resistance, and these bugs become super bugs. This is a real problem plaguing our world. And then when you actually do need antibiotics, they won't work. We see this happening over and over and over again. So it's really up to us to educate ourselves. And please, if you do get the flu, stay hydrated and rest. We are a community of people that are just trying to go, and hustle. You have to rest. You have to sleep. You have to slow down and lay down. You can't just take Tylenol, Motrin, or Advil to suppress your symptoms and go out and conquer the world. It doesn't work that way. We really have to rest. Eat healthy. Avoid dairy products when you have the flu because they're big mucus producers. Avoid sugar because it lowers your immune system. I know we're told to drink juice, but you'd be better off eating an orange or taking vitamin C in the supplement form than drinking orange juice. Stay hydrated. You can drink great electrolyte water like coconut water. You can add Celtic sea salt to your water. Stay hydrated. Whether those beverages are hot or cold, it doesn't matter to me. Feed your body nutritional support. When you're sick, bone broth is great because it's high in protein and nutrients, and it reduces inflammation in your gut and protect your gut. And if you can fix your bone broth with something like turmeric to reduce inflammation, that's a great thing to do. You can juice things that are anti-inflammatory like ginger and turmeric and parsley to help reduce inflammation and support your immune system, support gut health so that it can protect you from horrible viruses going around. So I really hope you guys stay healthy. I really don't like the way media uses so many scare tactics to scare us to death when we're using things that we have to understand the effectiveness. I'm not saying they're not effective, just do your homework, do your research when it comes to the flu vaccine and to Tamiflu, because even if you use those things, I'm not poo-pooing them. It's a choice. If you use those things, you have to understand if you do a flu vaccine, you're really not protected this year from influenza A, which is what the epidemic is, but you're only 40 to 60% protected. So you still have to take measures to protect yourself. So if you have any questions, post them in the comments. Thank you very much.